Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Now, I don't usually watch my local news, my local Montreal, Quebec news. I don't usually watch that. However, one night when I was rendering and uploading videos, I couldn't help but discover this interesting little piece of news reporting. It revolves around the recent death threats Anita Sarkeesian has been sent. Now, I want you guys to watch this. It's only 2 minutes, and when you're done watching it, we're gonna have a little chat about it. Alright? Here we go.
Grab a whore and have a good time.
In some video games, women especially are treated as disposable. With exaggerated sexuality but little personality, often their only roles are to be raped and murdered. Now, some who would do that in a virtual world are threatening to do it in the real one.
I got these death threats, these very, very detailed death threats that, promised to castrate my husband, to murder me.
Brianna Wu is a video game developer, targeted in a hate-filled Twitter feed called Death to Brianna, with messages so numerous and vicious, the FBI is investigating, and she has gone into hiding. And she's not the only one threatened this week.
The player can choose to buy her from her abuser for $200 to stop the attack, though she is later murdered by her assailant anyway.
This video is part of a series by Toronto-born Anita Sarkeesian. She was supposed to speak at Utah State University on Wednesday, but canceled after an email warned of a Montreal-style massacre. Women have been getting more interested in gaming lately, but there's a backlash. Some male players see feminism as an existential threat to something that doesn't actually exist, their own fantasy worlds. Sarkeesian has been a special target because people are listening to her.
It is my honor to present the Game Developers Ambassador Award to Anita Sarkeesian.
Earlier this year, she won the award the game industry gives to those who inspire it to improve itself. But now the future of the industry is at stake in an expanding gender war.
I'm not going to get bullied out of this industry by some people that are this threatened by women that just want to sit here and make video games. It is ridiculous.
The question is whether gaming itself can get to the next level. Tom Walters, CTV News, Los Angeles.
Let me get this out of the way right now. I hold nothing against Brianna Wu. And I also hold nothing against Anita Sarkeesian. I may disagree with her with one or two things, but she does bring up some good points. And what is being done to them is 100% wrong. One is a video game developer. I have no clue why you would even go after her. The other makes internet videos about video games with her opinion attached to it. That's all they do. And they are sent death threats. To the people who do that, you are sick, very sick individuals, and you need help. You need to talk to your parents, you need to talk to someone. You are not well. But let's get to the point that I wanted to talk about. This news report had one job. Convey the information. Since this took place in Canada, Anita Sarkeesian was going to talk someplace in Canada, so it's understandable why there was a Canadian news report about it. I get that. Your one job was to report that a woman who was supposed to speak at a college stopped because of a death threat. You completely changed what you were supposed to report on and attacked gaming and gamers themselves. This news report felt like a slanderous campaign ad at some points. I mean, just look at the opening statement.
Grab a whore and have a good time.
That is completely out of context. Not only is it out of context, there's no information behind it. What are people supposed to assume when they see this on TV? That that's the playable character? That that's the good guy, the bad guy? Also, for reference, that clip is from Dragon Age Origins, which is a dark, mature fantasy game and does not misrepresent women. As a matter of fact, there are several strong female characters. The playable character also gives you the option to play male or female. Also, there are male prostitutes in the game as well as female prostitutes, but you never ever see them naked. But since this clip is out of context, what are people going to assume? Gee, I don't know. And then we have the following statement, which really lights a fire under my ass.
In some video games, women especially are treated as disposable. With exaggerated sexuality but little personality, often their only roles are to be raped and murdered.
That is a lie. While yes, some games, I'm glad he at least pointed out some games, Tom Walters. I'm glad you at least said some games, but that's all you showed. When producing a television program, especially a news outlet, you must always assume that your audience is ignorant to whatever subject matter you are reporting on, and it is your duty to report the truth and be unbiased. But of course, with news outlets today being as corrupt and paid off as they are, there will always be biased. But that doesn't mean I still can't get pissed at it. While you do say some games and can use it as an excuse, well, I said only some games do this. You didn't even show the other half. Not once in this report did you show a video game clip of a strong female protagonist. Not once did you show that not every single game is about killing things. Okay, most games are, not gonna lie. Most video games are about killing things, but not in such a violent and brutal way. Also, you were very picky and choosy with what games you showed here. You showed Grand Theft Auto, mostly Grand Theft Auto, and a small clip of Dragon Age Origins, and a small clip of Hitman Absolution, and a small clip from Far Cry 3, which was completely, like, I don't even know why that clip from Far Cry 3 was there. It didn't even make any sense. Oh yeah, and one clip from Mafia 2. So you literally went out of your way to get clips from video games that are some of the darkest and mature, and are a minority. There are a ton of mature games out there, but you chose some of the darkest and grittiest? That's not biased at all. Also, to get back to the original statement that in those some games, women are used only as objects for murder and rape, bullshit. I call absolute bullshit on that. Where are your statistics? Where are your facts? If you're going to make such a bold claim like that, you better back it up. I don't care if you have only 2 minutes to report whatever you're reporting. If you're going to make such a bold statement like that, you better have statistics to back it up. You better have facts. But no, you didn't. You just made this completely random, out of the blue statement. Now, let me get this straight. In those some games, female characters are only used in those games, are only portrayed as objects for murder and rape. Well. Let's go to the murder part before we get to the big bad R word. Well, you know what? In some games, women are murdered. Yes, there are women, sometimes female characters are killed off for the sake of drama, storytelling, a plot device, sometimes just for shock value. Yes. That does happen. That has happened in quite a few games. A lot of video games, in fact. Yes, that's very true. Do you know how many fucking male characters are murdered in every video game ever? If you're going to say women in those some games, their only purpose is to be raped and murdered, you're not even going to mention the men? I've killed more male characters than I ever have female, and that is a fact. And as a matter of fact, I think most gamers, most people who have played video games or violent video games can tell you, they murder way more male characters than female characters. That is a fact. And oh yeah, video games aren't the only outlet that do this. What about movies? What about novels? What about television? Women are murdered in all those outlets constantly, and you're going to demonize video games for doing that when every other artistic outlet does that? You're joking, right? That has to be a joke. You can't be serious. You're going to demonize video games, and don't tell me you're not demonizing it. You're obviously demonizing it with the very specific gameplay that you chose to show in this news report and the words that were said. It's obvious you are trying to demonize gaming. Because it is very obvious, I can tell you it's obvious, no one at that news network, no one at CTV News plays video games. I can almost guarantee that. I can almost guarantee that no one at CTV News plays video games because it's out of their depth. It's out of their league. They don't understand this generation. They don't understand video games, so they demonize it as this scary new thing, and they only look to the extremes. And this is an extreme. That is an extremely extremely harsh outlook at gaming. Women mostly used to be murdered in video games. And we still haven't got to that second statement. Oh, dear God. Usually their only purpose is to be murdered and raped. Alright, Tom, since you're obviously ignorant to video games, let me fill you in, Mr. Tom Walters. Let me fill you in on something. Rape has never, ever been shown or committed in any video game ever. Rape is the one huge, enormous no-go when it comes to gaming. Video games refuse to show, portray, or even use rape as a story plot. Rape is the big no-no when it comes to gaming. It's the big no, will not, cannot. Even in some of the harshest and darkest environments that video games have brought in us, rape is never shown, introduced, talked about, or even hinted at. Rape is the one big no-no when it comes to video games. It is the one thing in reality that video games refuse to emulate. That is truth. That is fact. So, what you just said was basically a massive lie. A lie. You just said a massive lie to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who watch your news network. Rape and murder? Rape and murder? Are you shitting me? Are you kidding me? One of these things is partially true, and the other is a complete lie. An absolute lie. Ugh. You had one job. Report that Anita Sarkeesian and Brianna Wu were receiving death threats. That was your only job. To make this report, to make it known, and to let the sons of bitches who are sending these death threats know that the FBI is looking into this. You had one job, and you okay, you didn't completely, but you partially made this a slanderous attack on video games, especially with the very last statement of this report.
The question is whether gaming itself can get to the next level. Tom Walters, CTV News, Los Angeles.
Gaming itself? Gaming itself? You're joking, right? With that statement, you basically told everybody who plays video games and makes video game. You basically just told developers and players alike to grow up with that statement. You're joking, right? Why are you involving us? We have nothing to do with these sick bastards who send death threats. They're a minority. God, they're a minority. We just want to play our video games and have fun. And developers just want to make video games and have fun and make money and make a living off this. You were just reporting on that with Brianna Wu. You basically just insulted Brianna Wu. The woman you're defending and reporting on. You basically just insulted her. What the hell? What was that? Tom, do you even know what you just said? Granted, do you even know what you just said? For the sake of that clever pun, gaming needs to level up. Haha, clever pun, funny joke. You do realize with that statement, you just insulted players and game developers alike. You realize that. Because when you say gaming, you're talking about the people who play them and the people who make them. And you basically just insulted both of them, telling them to grow up. The people who send death threats to these women are not gamers. Not in my book. They're sickos. They're sick people who obviously have mental issues. Their brains do not work well. They are damaged. They are damaged individuals. They are not well, and they must be sent to an asylum. They must be sent to some place for medical treatment or psychological treatment because they are not well. They are not gamers. These are things. These are things. I can't even call these people. Someone who sends a death threat, threatens to end another human being's life over a fucking video game? That's not a human being in my book. That's a damaged thing, and should be thrown somewhere dark and throw away the key. Alright, kids, so what did we get from this? CTV is biased, absolutely biased. They went out of their way to demonize video games for no reason. They made lies and false statements, showed gameplay footage that was completely out of context, and basically showed clips from mostly one game. And CTV basically doesn't know jack squat about video games and should never ever report about anything that's video game related ever again. This has been the Gamertron. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, I'm going to say this right away. Leave your comments. I would really love to know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. It would help. And if you're new to the channel and just stumbled on this video, I assure you I have much better and much more entertaining content to offer. So please subscribe and check out some of my older videos for some good old gaming. This has been the Gamertron, and I'll see you guys later. God damn it, CTV.